Okay. So what I've got is a learning program for unit of competency, produce basic bread. The purpose of it is to have somebody who is completely green to the world of baking to come in and be able to produce basic bread doughs. Scratch doughs like scone, basic white, and a levain fed or chemical levain, being like sourdough or Turkish.
Yeah.
The delivery method would be face-to-face, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
The duration would be over the course of a day while they're producing the products. So what I've got there is a breakdown. I've chunked it. So we've got the introduction, which is all the basic stuff, the OHS, and make sure they've got their right equipment and make sure it all works. Any work health safety stuff like safe operating procedures that need to be followed on equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go into the food safety to make sure the area would match or meet food safety laws relevant to company. The next chunk would be the select your recipe and work out how much everything you need, which in doing so would meet some of the foundation principles, which are literacy and numeracy, which need to be checked off for them to be deemed competent. So if they can't work a calculator or they can't work out basic math and read, then they won't be deemed competent. We've then got, I've put out an hour for everything, but as we know in baking, could be more, could be less. Depending on speed of said person being deemed competent. Then we've got our big mixed basic doughs. I've put in a pre-mix. That could be anything needed on the day. It could be a scone. It could be, I reckon that's about it that we'd be using.
The only pre-mix.
Yeah, the only pre-mix. Maybe a fruit cake come Christmas time, but that's all up in the air. A scratch dough being like a basic speed fermented one, like a white or a wholemeal or a grain.
Or a fruit.
Or a fruit, yeah, wheat yeast. And then a chemical levain dough, so either a Turkish or a sourdough or anything else that we're doing now that is levain. I don't think there's much more. And a wholemeal dough, because obviously working with wholemeal compared to working with white is different, things change. So in doing that, they're going to meet a lot of the foundation skills because they're going to be reading a production sheet. They're going to be doing all that, working with numbers with the scales. It's going to also meet some performance criteria that need to be met when it comes to doing the work and stuff like that, which is all in the mapping and it's all in the training guide. After we've got to there, obviously they'll be checking for faults as they go, so I've got that on everything to check for faults and rectify if they find any. Then we've got scale dough, and obviously they're more there, final proving that all that there maps and meets performance criteria, knowledge evidence that they need to know, basic understanding and foundation skills. Then we've got all the pre-bake and like prepare to finish, both scoring and stuff like that.
Yeah, cool.
So, then the bake basic doughs and everything there. So they'll have to do a range of different products to meet all the criteria they need to meet. Like they need to do 4-piecing, they need to do Viennas, cobs, sticks, rolls. Just to prove they can do it all. Then we've got the baking, so there's going to be more work health safety stuff as well, take checks on the oven. And then we've got complete the job, so once everything's baked, dispose of their waste, clean their workplace, complete any workplace documents, like internal temperature checks and stuff that need to be done for food health safety. Then clean all the equipment and stuff like that. And then at the end, I've put a test or a quiz for understanding functions of basic dough, of basic ingredients, and check for bread faults and understand why things may have gone wrong. Thinking now I might, and I don't know if you agree, possibly move 10 to 1, so they could, that way you'd have a better understanding of where they're at before they start the practical side.
Yep.
And then the assessment conditions basically say that has to be done in a commercial bakery or an environment that accurately represents a workplace. So either on the job or at a place like Kangan or your Manglis where it's all set up for that. And obviously they need to know all the personal protective equipment and understand all how to use a bread slicer and stuff.
Yep.
The observation method will be observation while producing basic bread products from start to finish, and question test relevant knowledge, industry knowledge.
Yep.
Things that will be needed to get them competent would be what's over there. Literacy and numeracy requirements are calculations and reading recipe books and filling out workplace documents.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of anything else that would be needed there. Obviously resources, we've got the recipe book which is existing, we've got the yield factor sheet which would be existing.
Yep.
If not,
it fluctuates all the
if
time.
not, yeah, depending on water amounts, it's up and down. So I mean that would be an ideal question for the quiz.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as much as it says this, it might be because water, flour strength, what causes things like that.
Time of year.
Time of year, exactly right. And then any safety considerations would just be company OH&S control plan, the company emergency procedures, safe operating procedures, and trip and fall hazards, and obviously burn hazards. So, is there anything that you think I would need to add?
I think you've covered it.
Other than possibly moving that quiz to the front?
I'm not sure about that because with your quiz,
Yeah.
it says to understand faults in bread.
Yeah.
They're not going to really know that if they're green. So
Yeah.
the best way to do it is
let them make the mistake.
let them make the mistake and then explain to them
why
that mistake was made,
yeah.
and then go from there.
Right.
Because there's no point putting a quiz in there about how's the bread stuffed, why didn't it work, if they're not going to know the answer to that question.
Yes, yeah, that's true. So it's probably let them make the mistake and then explain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the way I work it when I do a training shift is, even though it's written on the sheet what they have to put into it, I make them call it out to me.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So if they're doing a 50 kilo white,
tell me what you're putting in.
Tell me what you're putting in.
Yeah.
So they're going 50 kilos of flour.
Yeah.
And then
your salt.
1 kilo of salt and all that sort of stuff. And then they're putting it in the bowl. That way they can't make that mistake.
Yeah, because you're right there with it.
Yeah. And then I'll make them do it where they're putting it in the scale and then tipping it into the bowl.
Yeah.
And then go to the next one.
Go to the next one.
Go to the next one. So it's the best way. The best way I think it is to do it that way. But yeah, it's good to get them to identify where they stuffed up. But if they're green and they're learning for the first time, they're not going to know how they stuffed up. Yeah. You're going to say,
"That's wrong.
What did you do wrong there?" And he's just going to scratch his head and say, "I've got no idea."
I don't know. Yeah.
So basically, yeah, that is a good idea to do that, but you need that to be further down. So if it does happen, you can say, "All right, what do you think you did wrong to get that result?"
Yep.
But yeah, no, everything else is pretty spot on.
Alrighty then. Done.
The only other thing too is I'd put them through their paces, see what they're doing, and then explain to them a little bit later.
Yeah.
You know, about the FSP and all that sort of stuff and what you need to do.
Yeah.
Because too much too early flusters people. So you know what I mean?
Them off a little bit. Yeah.
If you get someone like a Troy, if you overload their brains starting early, then that's when they're going to start to frizz up.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's the only thing I'd say. Like, if you do that and just stress to them that 28 degrees, 27 degrees, 28 degrees, it needs to be at that temperature. It's got to be like that. Mixing times, explain to them that 3 and a 6 is your mixing time that a recipe says to do, but that's not going to be right.
It's going to be all part of the checking for faults and the understanding what makes good dough.
Exactly. Yeah. That's all it is. It's like, as I said, it's trial and error, and you've always got to make a mistake before you learn and you learn to do things right. So, but apart from that, you've covered pretty much everything. That's actually pretty good. But if they had this when they were training people, it would work a lot better.
Down the side there with all the PEs and foundation skills, that's all stuff that needs to be done for them to be deemed competent. So, like you've got prepare for the work, which is confirmed product type. So that's why it's all mapped there. So everything there is in here, which is what they need to be doing and knowing to be deemed competent at the end if they produce good bread. So that's all the mapping there. So it's all that.
Like number one's fine. Like do your safety operation checks. Yeah. So that's basically pretty much what you need to do when you first get in there. Show them what if something goes wrong, how to stop things, how to do all that sort of stuff, which is good. But I don't know about the OHS side of things that early in the introduction.
Well, and obviously, really, OHS is more just a watch where you step. You don't have to run them through the whole program.
Like your food safety checks and everything like that. Right. That's probably a good thing to say to you at the start, right?
Yeah, and that's more just like keeping an eye on the fridge and freezer. Yeah, you make sure nothing's running hot.
Yeah. Your FSP would be fine to do there. Yeah. With the all that sort of stuff, explain how to do it. But I wouldn't go OH&S stuff that early because that's only just going to overload their brain.
Like I was saying, OH&S is pretty big. Yeah. But you're getting like people know to watch where they're stepping and not try and lift too much. So you wouldn't have to go into
exactly right.
Too heavy early on.
So you'd probably put that down to about number 8. Yeah. Like start with your food safety side of things, like what you need them to do. Wash your hands. Yeah. Get ready. Make sure everything's good. Make sure your equipment works, everything like that. And then, when you got down to where it says complete workplace records,
that's where
you'd start talking about your OHS sort of stuff. Yeah. Because then you're not going to overload him, and then the only thing you're overloading him with is actual stuff
that's relevant
to what he's got to do to mix it. So. You know what I mean? Because then you start doing that sort of stuff and you start thinking, oh shit, hang on, am I lifting too much? Am I doing this? And that's where mistakes happen. So
you're concentrating too much on
to make sure you're doing the right thing when you do the wrong thing and stuff things up. Yeah. But that is actually really good. Did you come up with this yourself?
Yeah, well, I broke it down off what needed to be done and then just mapped it all. Yeah. And stuff like that. So,
Intermediate dry proof, and just explain to them as you're going what the intermediate job does. Yeah. So basically just lets the dough repair after you've destroyed it in the bowl.
Yeah, so break down, give them,
And then, like, perfect, and then put things in there, like, as you're going, like, do little why would we do this?
Why do you think we do this? So that'd be the observation side of it. There'd be constant questions.
Constant, hitting, why do you reckon we're doing this? Yeah. How long do you think we should let it rest for? What happens if we don't let it rest?
Yeah, that gets them all their stuff.
And then they're thinking, and then they're thinking on the job, and they're thinking,
and then come the questions at the end. They've kind of got to.
You've got to grasp what's happening.
Because you've given them information during the day. Yeah.
Or just like I used to just take one, just like get an extra little bit of dough and say, round that now.
Compare it to.
Put it on a tray.
And then we'll let the other one rest.
We'll let the other one rest.
Do some observations.
And then we'll put that on a tray and we'll see the difference when it comes out of the oven and say, why do you think this is like that? Because you put the green dough in compared to a rested dough. Yeah. Yeah. But just move your OH&S stuff out.
Yeah, move it
around into about number 8. Yeah. Where it says, show him how to do his workplace records, and then hit him with some OH&S
stuff. And then leave.
But as I said, if things are pretty bad on the way through it, you can explain with OH&S states we can't do that or anything like that. No, good.
All right.
That's the only change I'd make.
Now